It's 4:25 in the afternoon here, local time in the UK. Welcome to my first ever attempt at live streaming. I notice I've got a whole 2 viewers, so thank you both of you. I've just been taught how to do this properly by Pete from Track Fans TV, who's also live streaming. So if you want to tell the guys over in the chat, over in his streams, that whatever he isn't and he's charging his phone, I'll attempt to cover. So we'll do it as a tag team. You can switch between our channels to catch up with the race live as much as we can. So yeah, please share, publicise the fact that I'm doing this, and hopefully some of the guys from Track Fans will come over and join us here. I'll move around a little bit as time passes. I'll tell you what I learn as and when I learn anything. I might find time to go and chat with a marshal or team captain or something like that. Let's have a little look around us right now, just for fun. These corners in front of us have names. This one here is the left-hander in front of you is Indianapolis, and the right-hander following is Arnage. There are a pair of lane changes that you can see just in front of us. Both of them get you from the gutter lanes, that being lane 1 on the far right and lane 4 on the far left, back into what are the preferred racing lanes. So if you have an off over my right shoulder here, over at the Mulsanne corner, and the marshal puts you back in the slot, you're coming down here in the nearest to us lane 4, always marshal to the outside of the corner, the outside of the track. And with this track being one long clockwise, you always get marshalled to lane 4. So you can come down here on the outside and then flick back into lane 3, and that's most people's preferred racing lane. So we've got the drivers on the podium. At this end we've got garage 27, and then we've got Ed from oh gosh, what team is that? Let me get my book and I'll tell you more. So we'll go along the rostrum and see if we can't do this. So that's William with the beard on far left, driving the red Ferrari 4884. Now he's 27. Next to him is Ed. Just got to find his name on this list to find out what he's driving. Yes, he's driving the red Aston Martin, Worthing Digital, Aston Martin Vantage. Now that one is a very interesting case, because I believe that when the darkness falls, that one's going to be quite difficult to follow. It's about to come through shot now. There it is. It's got that blue marker LED in it, and I think it's the only one running the blue. But its head and tail lights are on the dim side, shall we say. Perfectly legal, but a little more difficult to spot than some of the other cars. So next to him you've got Chris. Chris is driving for Great Bar Slot Car there in LMP2. That's an Orica 03 Nissan. And it's there, just came through shot. It's predominantly white. Who's next? Dave. Dave is from North Staff Slot Car Club, and he's driving the yellow Aston Martin Vantage GTE. So we've got one red one yellow one, the same car. However, I believe they're based on different slot car body shows. Not sure what brand they are. Oh yes, so the red one is... Oh no, I'm wrong. They're both sideways body shows. Both French manufacture. There it is. Yellow shirt, yellow body. In fact, over there Marshall is lying on the ground in the Porsche curves, just in front of the rostrum. So clearly there's a team shirt thing going there. Yellow shirts, yellow body show. Next to him you've got Lewis. Lewis is from Decent, and he's driving the red Nissan GT-R LM. There, in lane 1. Got a very, very interesting sound, that car. They didn't manage to achieve the gearing change that they wanted to between qualifying and the start of the race. So they're pretty much running it as it is. Now, technically speaking, they've done something which I wouldn't prefer to do myself, and that is that they've increased the number of teeth on their pinion and used a gear. That's not the best way to manufacture a gear, and therefore it's giving them an unusual noise. And I think their crown gear, their spur gear and pinion, are going to spend quite some time running into one another. And I know that they're not get out for at the moment. You've actually probably seen in one of my videos the preparations they were making to try and get this car to be faster down the straight. Yes, it's been a big battle for them to get that car to the grid in the shape that they wanted it, and it's not quite there. So next to him you've got Gas Monkeys. I don't know his forename. They're driving the yellow Corvette C7R. Where is that car? Into shot, right through shot, just there. A solidly prepared car. Looks like it's capable of doing some very consistent. Oh, there it goes on its roof. Very consistent quality laps when it's got the right driver on it. Who's next? Steve. Sports car racing. The Toyota TS050. Steve White, I believe that is. There is the car in the Porsche curbs right now. An interesting car. It took pole position. It did the fastest lap. It's beset by a few difficulties. It's running a couple of events before now. It has won one, a 6-hour enduro that we did in Rockingham back in November. But on that day, it managed to snap its chassis base plate, and if I'm not mistaken, it's done it again here this weekend. So I think some modifications to the car have been undertaken, and if I'm not mistaken, at the moment it may even be running with one of its chassis repaired. So you bring 2 or 3, you break 2 or 3, you fix one, and you go. Fingers crossed for them. Good team of quality drivers for the most part, very capable of producing a good result. Who's next on the rostrum? Oh, that's it's the fastest slap car driver in Europe, according to one of Jody Soden's videos back in 2017, I think it was. He described him that way, and it's, well, for me, the handle is stuck. He is what's he driving? Oh, I know what he's driving. He's driving the SRC Eindhoven BMW M8 in white. Where is he? There, on lane 1, just came through shot. He's one of the quickest drivers in the room, almost for certain. And that BMW, as you've seen on the timing screen, is capable of extremely quick laps. It looks really, really solid doing laps. It does. It's a tall, large body shell, but I know that Tamara's made extreme efforts. In trouble. Here it is. Look, it won't move. Look, he's punching the throttle and it's inching forwards. It's in Graham's hands having a fix right now, look. Graham's looking around it. He's unfortunately behind that marshal. Here you go, one of the drivers, one of the teammates is round. Is it a rear wing problem? There is a rear wing problem. It's actually over the side of the body shell and stuck in the back wheel. Wow, in the paddock. There he goes, look, toolkit in hand, going to the hot pit. Looks like there's another car busy in the hot pit. Yes, that's Scuderia Vikings. That's Steve, who I spoke to yesterday, sat there in the red and white striped black shirt, red and black striped shirt, clearly working on their car. And what are we? Just over an hour and a half into the race. An hour and a half is a long time for any slot car. It's already done. Months and months of racing that it might, equivalent to months and months of racing that it might have done at club level. Oh look, a sympathy crash. Look at that, 6 seconds lost there, 5 maybe. So that's Sebastian Van Alten in grey shirt. Next to him is the driver from DSRC. DSRC have got the really, really pretty yellow, green and pink Rebellion in LMP1. Where's that car? He's coming into shot any moment. There. Now then, what's the name of that driver? I don't know him personally. I think that's because his English is not as strong as mine. Oh, there you go. Not his first language. So who is he? Quentin, I think. He'll forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think that's Quentin from DSRC in Belgium. Then you've got Matt Tucker. Everybody knows Matt Tucker with the orange side panel in his black shirt, driving for Rockingham with the dark blue Alpine. Alpine 470. Currently leading, or should be, if nothing's changed. Went through shot just there and into the Porsche curves. Well, who else have we got? Now the driver on the end there, in the grey hoodie. I can honestly say, I've never even seen the guy. But now he's on my radar. Who can he be? Let's work this out. I'll try and find out who that is by watching him drive, see what car he's looking at. It's one of these three that's just come through shot. Okay, I've picked up what car he is. I think he's that. I'm following it go around. He's looking at. He's on the. He's going up the straight. What's he driving? Is he driving an Audi? Is he a Curie Worthing? He must be from a Curie Worthing. Jeremy Belcher, Mr. Walker, Mr. Burley Senior and Mr. Burley Junior. Honestly don't know who he is. So in about 20 minutes we will have completed 2 hours. At that time I'll endeavour to get over to the race timing screen. Look in the chat. Is there a way to view